Elle, could you just confirm everything's showing up cool?
Yeah, looks good to me. I can tell you guys a little bit more about this slide in the meantime. So Ajax Union, we are an online marketing company. We basically, in a few words, help you grow your business online, and that's what we specialize in. To find out a little bit more about us and what we do, you can check us out at www.ajaxunion.com. We would love to invite you to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/AjaxUnion. Show us some love and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/AjaxUnion, and feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn, /AjaxUnion, LinkedIn/AjaxUnion. And if you want to give us a call, it's just 1-800-594-0444, and we'd love to talk to you that way as well.
All right, great. I'll go ahead and get started. First, the most important slide, a little bit about me. My name is Sarah Mogan, and I'm the SEO manager at Ajax Union / a ninja here. This is a picture of me solving some Ken puzzles. I am available on Facebook if you're interested at facebook.com/Sarah Mogan. I'm also on Twitter at Sarah Mogan, and you can find me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Sarah Mogan. All right, so as we mentioned, this webinar is about B2B marketing with social media. At any time, if you're interested in learning more about Ajax Union and how we can help out with any of these areas or additional fields of marketing, we're available at ajaxunion.com. All right, so just to go over some administrative tasks, like Elle mentioned, you can ask questions during the webinar at any time. There's a questions box, and we'll be checking it regularly. Even if we've already passed that section, please feel free to ask. We can come back to it at the end or whatever makes sense. You can also reach out to us socially. We're available at facebook.com/AjaxUnion. You can tweet us at AjaxUnion, or even tweet me at Sarah Mogan. And after the webinar, feel free to email info@ajaxunion.com if you have any lingering questions you think of. So in this webinar, we're going to start out by talking about why social media is important for B2B marketing. Then we're going to talk about the difference between having a full-fledged social media campaign versus doing social media a little bit for your company. We're going to launch into some specifics for specific networks, including Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google+. Then we're going to go over some final thoughts on everything we covered. All right, so to begin, I wanted to go over why social media is important. One of our obstacles at Ajax Union when we're trying to convince a business-to-business client to go on social media is they'll say something like, I provide CMS solutions for law firms. Why should I use social media? Or something equally esoteric like that where it seems like Facebook users do not care about this product. Obviously, some business-to-business industries are easier to represent than others, but I'm just assuming we're going from the most challenging standpoint where it's a product that it seems very inaccessible to the average consumer. So no matter what your business has to offer, social media is essential to your marketing campaign. One of the best things that social media can do is it can help you brand your business. Now this is extremely important. My first point here is that it can help you demonstrate credibility. On the internet, one of the great things and one of the frustrating things is that anyone can make a website rather quickly to throw up a company. So one of the most important things you can do is use social media as well as other types of sites and blogs to demonstrate that you didn't just make up your company overnight. You're a legit business and someone should trust you with theirs. If someone's considering doing, say, a $500,000 renovation on their building, they're not just going to want to jump into some random company that somebody told them about. So the more you can represent yourself online, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Google+, it's just going to help to show potential clients, hey, these people are real. They have a big online presence. They post about their recent projects. They're a real company that I could trust. In addition to demonstrating credibility, social media can help you to highlight your existing products or projects that your company is working on. So you could have a screenshot of a new content management system you launched, or a photograph of a building construction underway. Even if this isn't relevant to someone visiting your page because they're going to need their own project and their own custom whatever, just seeing that you're active and that you're involved in businesses similar to theirs is going to give them a sense that you can help them out. Social media is also a great way to showcase customer service, and it can sort of come in two ways. Depending on your business, you may be able to provide direct customer service to your specific clients. You could have business owners asking questions and answering them. But more often, for many business-to-business industries, you're able to use social media to have customer service going to end users. So this could be something like you sell hummus, and you're selling your hummus to supermarkets and stores like that. But you can use your Twitter page and your Facebook page to reach out to shoppers who have immediate questions. And even though they're not going to be buying the hummus from your website, they still have questions that you are the best one to answer. So they might say how many calories are in it, or where can I find it, or when are you coming out with a new flavor. And by showing that you're attentive to your customers on your social profile, that's going to reassure the vendors and retailers that you want to connect with that, hey, this is a company that cares about the customers, and they're going to be helping me out on the social media end so that the product is overall more appealing. And in addition to branding, social media can also help out your business connect directly to decision makers. This is more possible on some networks than others, but Facebook can or social media can help you reach out directly to, say, the head of IT if you are marketing a sort of program or something that would help out IT people in companies. It would help you find presidents and VPs that are directly in industries that you serve, or it can help you find directors of marketing if you have something to offer that's marketing related. Those are just some examples. And when it comes to closing leads, connecting to decision makers is essential in getting your message across. If you just tweet at a company's Twitter, that's not necessarily going to go to their CEO to see. But if you can use other social media techniques to connect directly to that person, that's how you're going to get a big contract. And I also wanted to add that just having these profiles, having a Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, is nowadays as important as having a website, I would say. It's just expected. And if someone goes to check out your company on Facebook and they can't easily find it, or it's not there at all, it just makes you look really bad. Even if you don't have the resources to consistently update your Facebook, just having a presence there is just going to be a check off someone's list and avoid any embarrassing incidents. I also wanted to include some stats about business-to-business marketers in general. I was checking out a survey that was from January of this year. 60% of business-to-business marketers have a social media strategy or plans to create one in 2012. 90% are active on Facebook. 53% are active on Twitter. 47% are active on LinkedIn. And 33% are active bloggers. Blogging is not something we're really going to talk about in this webinar, but one great thing about blogging is that you can easily sync up your blog posts with your social profiles. So if you are an active blogger, which I would recommend, you can use social media to further dispense the excellent posts you're writing for your business. So next I wanted to cover the difference between a social media campaign and what I would call doing social media. If you're just getting into social media, you might have some more abstract plans for how you're promoting your business. Maybe you just tell an intern, hey, do something on our Facebook. And the difference between doing something like this and actually executing a social media campaign is that the campaign has goals and it's measurable and allows you to boost your business via social networking. So I'm breaking that into 3 quick steps before we get into the details of specific networks. Step 1 in setting up a social media campaign would be to set goals. Figure out what exactly am I trying to accomplish. There are a lot of different goals you can have, and some of them overlap, but just some example ones would be to generate sales or conversions. Conversions can be a lot of different things. This could involve someone filling out a form to request a quote on your website. It could be an end consumer buying your hummus in a supermarket down the line, and pretty much everything in between. It's important to figure out what kind of conversions your business has and how you'll be able to track them. So if you have a form on your website, how can you see who fills out that form? You can probably use Google Analytics to see if people coming from specific sites are filling out the form. It's very easy to set up if it's not already. Another potential goal could be to boost your fans, your followers, your LinkedIn connections, whatever the term is for specific social networks. Just simply having these numbers look impressive on your profiles can be really good in establishing legitimacy. You don't necessarily need to work towards 10,000 fans, but just having a couple hundred fans on Facebook as opposed to just your employees and their relatives is going to make you look really good. Like I mentioned, branding your business in general can be a goal, just getting people to recognize your logo, whether it's consumers or other businesses. Collecting email addresses for later marketing is another great goal to have. Email marketing is one of the most effective effective types of online marketing. So if you're able to collect email addresses of decision makers or anyone interested in learning more about your company, it's going to be a great way to pave the way for future efforts. And last, social media can also help you support SEO. By that I mean search engine optimization. You might have an organized search engine optimization campaign that involves link building and blogging, changes to your site, all that stuff. Social media can be a great complement to this because Google does look at social networks, as do the other search engines, to see cues that A, your company is active at all, and B, that you're creating content relevant to keywords you want to rank for. The next steps would be step 2, define your strategy. How are you going to achieve your goals? So there's a lot that goes into this, and I've done a webinar just on this part of the step, but just to do some basics. The first part of your strategy should be to pick what social networks you're going to be marketing on. This has to do with both what networks are most relevant to your industry and also what you have time to do. Probably ideally we would all be marketing on all social networks, even the ones I don't have time to cover in this webinar, but we all have time, we all have budgets, so it's important to pick which networks you want to get started on. Hopefully after this presentation you'll have a little better idea of what are the core networks you should begin with. Another important step is to determine a marketing calendar and strategy for your social media campaign. So maybe you have a big product launching at the end of November. You want to make sure you have this many fans by then, or that you have an application ready to launch on Facebook to coordinate with that. Maybe you want to develop some slides about your new product and have them shareable on LinkedIn by then. Along with a calendar, you want to think of a strategy. What products are you going to promote? How do they correspond to major landmarks like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas shopping, all of that. In general, it's good to itemize your resources when you're coming up with a strategy. So think about your advertising budget and similar to money, the amount of time you have to devote to all of this, what kind of employees will be able to help with your resources. Think about potential cross-promotions if you have any vendors you work with or peer companies that will be able to promote you on their Facebook, on their Twitter. Maybe can you promote this within your own email marketing campaign or on your website? And last, you can think about if you want some professional help with any of this. If you want to work with a marketing company to get help with Facebook ads or posting updates or whatever it is. If you're a busy company and don't have the resources in-house to have a real social media campaign, this can be a better alternative to doing it without all cylinders firing. Last, just coming up with general plans to add to your strategy. Think about what demographics you're looking to target. This can be more than one. Think about, in general, promotional ideas. Can you offer a discount? Can you offer a free 30 days? And last, I like to recommend coming up with a couple of tricks up your sleeve. Beyond the initial strategy you have, what can you whip out if something isn't working as successfully as planned? Because social media in many ways is all about testing. You might have a great idea that is not getting the results you would like, so it's important to have some backup. So come up with a couple of backup plans that you'll be able to kick in if you know that something isn't working out. And the last step of developing a social media campaign is defining tracking. How can I measure the success of my social media campaign? So here there are really two parts. You need to figure out what tools you're going to use and when you're going to check them. So for example, you can use Google Analytics and check it every week. You could use Facebook Insights, check it every day. Figure out how much time, if you understand how to interpret the numbers that you'll be seeing, and what kind of goals you'll be looking for. So the tools I mentioned, there's Facebook Insights. This is a great tool specifically for Facebook, obviously, that helps you figure out how many people are visiting your page, how active they're being, and which are your most active posts. This is a really great way to see, if you post all the content you post, you might think is great, but you might realize that 200% more people responded to this picture you posted about a project, whereas no one really cared about the article you posted about the same topic. So it's good to know so it can inform your future efforts. Facebook Insights can also tell you about how your ads are performing, which is really essential to make sure you're not wasting your money. You can also do things like use your website's backend if you have an internal form or quote system. You can use your email service provider if you're trying to get people to sign up for your mailing list. And Google Analytics is definitely the most important. It can break down your traffic by source and also check out if they're buying anything, if they're filling out any forms. You could literally know, okay, in these last 3 weeks on Twitter, this many people filled out my form, and then compare it to the previous 3 weeks or anything like that. So that is pretty much the rundown of how to do a social media campaign and how that's different from just telling some intern, hey, do some stuff if you have a chance. I also wanted to go over some general guidelines. Actually, it looks like that is not the right copied slide, so I'm going to skip that. Some general tips about, so now we're going to get into Facebook. Elle, if you want to go ahead and launch the Facebook poll, we could try that out before getting into the topics.
Yes, absolutely. Let me just set that up right now. 1 second. Okay, so the question that we're going to ask you guys is, my company currently has, and you can select one of the following. You have an active Facebook page, a Facebook profile, or no Facebook presence. So just please take a second and vote on that, and we're going to share the results shortly.
And we'll get into this more on future slides, but there's a big difference between a Facebook page and a Facebook profile. Facebook pages are the ones that can have likes, they can have ads, they can have applications, whereas a Facebook profile is what I personally have, not what Ajax Union has. And while it's a great tool for networking, it should not be the primary face of your business.
Mm-hmm. And just to address really quickly, I did see a question, but I think we're just going to wait until the end so we don't get too far, of course. Mm-hmm. And I see that about half of you guys have voted already, which is perfect. We're just going to leave this up for another 10 or 15 seconds, really get a bulk of the crowd voting, and we'll share the results shortly. Okay, so I think we're just going to close off this poll now, and let me share the results with everyone. So I see that 73% of you guys, which is a pretty overwhelming number, actually said that you guys have an active Facebook page, which is cool. 9% said that you have an active Facebook profile for your company. So Sarah, I'm glad you mentioned the difference between the two, and I know that we're going to get into that. And 18% said that you do not have a Facebook presence, which I guess let me just close off this poll, and Sarah, you can go into why, that's not the best thing, I guess.
Sure. So this is just some initial points about Facebook, then I'll get into the specifics. My main theme about Facebook is that it's a big deal and it's not going away anytime soon. I've listened to a lot of people dismiss Facebook as not important, whether it's for business to business or all marketing in general, but I think we all have to accept that it's extremely active. It has millions and millions of active users every day. Most people you talk to are going to be on it, and even though some people aren't, a lot more people are. So it's important to wrap your head around the fact that Facebook is a very big deal that needs to be part of your campaign. We're also going to talk a little bit about Facebook ads and how they allow for precise targeting. For example, you can target people by age, by location, by what field they're in, by what stage of life they're in. This could be a really great way to market to end users. For example, going back to my hummus example, if you are selling hummus, you can market to people that like other hummus brands, that like living healthy, even people that like yoga can be a really great way. You can also target, based on industries, you can try to reach some of those decision makers you're getting. And going with that, Facebook allows marketers to connect with both end users and business decision makers, so it can be a very important tool. All right, so before we get into what to do on Facebook, let's go over the preliminary steps of making sure your Facebook is in order. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you have a username that users expect. I don't want to pick on any friends of mine. I do like the folks over at MyEmma, which is a email marketing platform, but I was trying to use their Facebook page as a fun example, actually, because I like them. And when I went to facebook.com/myemma, I found the personal profile of some random Facebook user. So that is not ideal for them. And back when Facebook was a little more primitive, it was sort of a first come, first serve dilemma. If somebody else took the username you wanted, that sucks for you. But it's definitely evolved from there. There are plenty of forms you can fill out on Facebook, and we could help you find those later on, that can reserve usernames that should rightfully be yours. You normally just need the trademark ID number or tax ID number for your business just to prove to Facebook, hey, I have a company with this name, therefore it should be mine. And this, while we have this up, is also a good example of what a Facebook profile looks like as opposed to a Facebook page. It has someone's first name and last name, usually says their gender, where they live, or what school they went to. If your company representation on Facebook looks like anything like this, it's very important to switch it to a page. So next, next point is to make sure that you have a Facebook page and not a profile. There are a couple of differences that are very important. Profiles, which is what I have as an individual user, they can have friends. They can send and receive private messages to each other, and they have real names. You could also use a persona for a Facebook profile if you don't want to use your real name, something like John Smith. Pages, on the other hand, don't have friends. They have likes. It's a one-way relationship there. I like Ajax Union. Ajax Union doesn't necessarily like me because they're a business entity and don't have feelings. Pages cannot send messages to users, but they can respond to private messages that users sent to them, which is great for customer service. And one good thing about that is that it's all private, so someone can come to you and say, oh, I ordered this, it didn't show up, blah, 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 and you can deal with it in a quiet fashion and no one even has to know. Probably the most important things about pages and how they differ from profiles is that they can have custom applications and Facebook ads. So we're going to talk a little bit about those, but these are two key aspects to Facebook. They're things that don't work as well on some of the other social networks, and if you have a profile, you can't even access these features. Overall, I would say that it's important to represent your business through both means, through both profiles and pages. I know that I post about Ajax Union on my profile. Joe, our CEO, posts on his profile a lot because sometimes it allows you to reach out to people that you can't get to on your page, like your immediate networking contacts and your friends and family members. But at the same time, a page is definitely the most important. If you only have some time, you should definitely focus on your page. And we also just made a note here that optimizing your cover photo is important for a page. This is what Ajax Unions looks like. It's a great place to showcase company news, show off your logo, or just have some upbeat image that captures your company vibe. So now that your page is in order, it's important to plan a Facebook campaign. So my recommendation would be to update your page every day if you have the resources. A couple of times a day can be great too. But daily is a great start. So my favorite ways to describe Facebook content that is desirable is to use these 4 buzzwords. It's diverse, it's relevant, it's visual, and it's shareable. So just to go over those, diverse content means that you're not always saying the same thing. You're not always saying, request a quote to learn about our content management systems. You're doing a little of everything. Maybe once a week you encourage people to check out your site, request a quote, or check out my FAQ page as it has more info. But you're also posting interesting, shareable information that people are going to like, so your fans don't leave your page. If people feel like all they're hearing from you is pitch after pitch after pitch, they're going to leave, and then you're losing those fans you spent some time to earn. Facebook content should also be relevant. So beyond just the scope of your business, you can talk about other content that is relevant to your industry. Maybe you're a local company in New York. You can talk about the new Barclays Center and just show that you're just this active company that knows about relevant things. You can post articles about your industry as a whole. If you do anything health related, you could even say, oh, it's cold season. Here are 3 tips on avoiding colds. Content should also be visual. I found one post we did on one of our clients' pages that does charter bus tours for businesses and other entities. And it was just a cute little picture of a cat wearing a captain's hat. And this is the kind of thing, if it shows up on your news feed, it jumps out a lot more than random text would. Facebook content should also be shareable. This means that whether it's funny, whether it's useful, whether it's interesting, this is something that people are going to want to share with their friends, which really gives you free exposure rather than something like a Facebook ad. So try to think of something that's not just going to be interesting to your viewers, but something that they think will be interesting to their friends. And having that same diversity, relevant, and visual appeal is also going to help with that. So with a Facebook campaign, setting up Facebook ads is very important. I talked about them a little bit. One great thing about Facebook ads is they can get started with a very small budget, and you can still see some results and get a good idea if you want to continue doing Facebook ads, or if maybe it's not the most important thing in your budget right now. So just $5 a day, which would be about $150 for the month, is going to be a great start on Facebook. We have a couple sample Facebook ads here. And just to give you an idea of the format, typically there's the title. There's a like button right on the ad. If you implement that, that can get you direct fans to your page right away. And then there's a text, which should involve a call to action, an appealing picture, stuff like that. So in these two example ads, there's a chance to win a $100 gift card. There's an incentive to like the page so you can get special coupons. Fun stuff like that is always great to add if you can offer it. Last, I wanted to talk about Facebook applications. This is one application we just did for one of our clients that does sell hummus, like my example. And so they are kind of marketing to end consumers here, but the whole thing is also intended to be attractive for additional retailers who could sell it in their store. So one cool thing about a Facebook application is basically a miniature website. It can contain anything you want, and it goes on your page. It also serves as sort of a landing page for ads. When you're setting up Facebook ads, you need to think about, after people click on my ads, what are they going to see and is it going to be what they're looking for? So if someone clicks on your Facebook ad and it leads them to your website, that can be a problem because a lot of Facebook users want to stay on Facebook. They're in the middle of networking with their friends and blah, 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 and they're not in the mood to visit some random company's website. If you have a Facebook ad going directly to your Facebook page, just the home part with the timeline, that is also not a great idea because there's no call to action there, there's nothing really to do, and people might just click away and then you wasted that expense on the ad. So the best option really is to have people, when they click on ads, go to an application on your page, which is something Facebook makes very easy to implement. And these applications can be customized to directly correlate with your ad text. So our ad text for this says something like, enter to win to see Jersey Boys on Broadway, and it has a picture of the hummus probably, it talks about what it's about, and so when people click on it, they go to this page, it's what they were expecting, and it has a call to action so people can enter their name and email and sign up for the client's email list to pave the way for later marketing. So next we're going to talk about LinkedIn. I think we have a poll for that too, right, Elle? Do we have a poll?
Yes, I'm just launching it.
Wait on it for a second.
Yeah, right now. One sec. Yes, so I'm just launching it right now, and the options are I am using LinkedIn, and you can select all that apply through my personal account, through my company profile, through my employees, or through LinkedIn Answers. Just please take a second and vote for that as well. I see that it is a tie so far, which is interesting. But let's keep voting and see how it goes.
Definitely, and I'm going to explain the different ways we can use, or explain all these different techniques that you can use LinkedIn in the next couple slides. So we'll see what all that's about.
And I see that about half of you guys have voted, which is really great. Let's just try to get a few more people on here, and then we'll close off the poll and share our results with everyone. Keep this up for 5 more seconds or so. And last chance to vote on this poll. So I'm just going to close off this poll and share it with everyone. So it says here that 86% of you guys use LinkedIn through your personal account and 29% use it through your company profile. It's fine that it's not out of 100% as we can have voted on multiple answers. So yes, let me just close off this poll. And it seems that nobody uses it through their employees or through LinkedIn Answers.
Yet.
Yet.
All right, so about LinkedIn, one of the great points about LinkedIn is that it is the business social network. It's intended for business networking. And while one of my big points about social media is that all of the networks can be used for business-to-business marketing, LinkedIn gives you a head up because it's all about business and people aren't there to talk about their boyfriends and, post pictures of their cats. It's more serious from right off the bat, so that's great. What should your business have on LinkedIn? Your business should have a company profile. as well as personal profiles for all of your employees. This can be something you put your employees in charge of setting up. They probably already have one because it's a great job-seeking tool as well. And just make sure that they are all connected to your company page and that, if possible, they're also using it to promote your company. Your business can also participate in groups for leads and networking. LinkedIn groups are a great way to for business people to connect on common interests. You can be in a group on something as broad as marketing or something more specific like product packaging, and use this to interact with either peers in your industry, with potential leads, to network with other business people that could potentially refer you leads and you can refer them leads, all that sort of stuff. All of us business-to-business companies are in this together, and a lot of times we know a company that could help out one of our other business-to-business clients, and then they know someone that they work with that also needs marketing. So it can be a very good way to set up some collaborations like that. And last, on LinkedIn, it's important to consider SEO when setting up your company profile, your personal profile, all of that. There are a lot of online guides for this that talk about all the different things you can include in both pages and profiles, but the main thing to keep in mind is if you have company keywords that your company is trying to link to, you can, if you have keywords your company is trying to link to, you can include those in your professional summary and in the link to your website. Pretty much anywhere you find a way to put the keywords in a non-spammy, non-stuffy manner to show Google and other search engines just some additional indication that your company is relevant to these keywords that you want to show up for in search engines. Before getting into more details, I just wanted to address, should you advertise on LinkedIn? LinkedIn does have its own ad system. I would recommend not. We have not had much success with that, and I think it might be something that they're sort of still optimizing. If you have had success on LinkedIn ads, I'd love to hear about it and compare experiences, but in general we found that it's not the best use of resources. It's more important to devote time on LinkedIn, or perhaps spring for a premium membership to take advantage of some of those features rather than paying for ads. So LinkedIn Answers is similar to Yahoo Answers, I like to say, but with less questions about am I pregnant. LinkedIn Answers, I meant to include a screenshot here. My apologies about that. But it's a place where people ask questions on all sorts of things. It could be a recent change in the Google algorithm. It could be what are some general tips for making sales calls. It could be something really industry specific about healthcare, all sorts of topics, but they're all business related. And I recommend answering two types of questions, the perfect questions and the less than perfect questions. And by that I mean sometimes you'll literally get the perfect question. So if I'm on LinkedIn trying to help out Ajax Union, I might see someone asking, what can I do to rank better on Google? And I'll be like, oh boy, this is what I do. I have things to tell them. At the same time, you're not always going to find that, and for certain industries you may never find it. But answering less than perfect questions that are still relevant to your business can still be a great help. So one example of that is I saw someone on LinkedIn once asking what they should name their domain, and they had two. They were going to name it either like theirname.com or theproductsname.com. They didn't know which would be better for search engines, and weren't ready to market yet, but just had that question. So I let them know my feedback on that. I said it was good to have a URL for their product that mentioned the product and not their personal name, and that they should also have a site for their personal name, but that could be a little more low-key. And then the great thing about LinkedIn Answers is that you are providing a public answer to the question, which shows anyone visiting the question and search engines that your company is an authority on this topic, this sort of umbrella of topics beyond just your exact services. And as you're answering the question, LinkedIn also gives you an option, which you should always take, to send a private message to the asker. You can say, hey, I answered your question, check it out here, just some further notes, and kind of personalize it that way. And I found that I get a lot of responses to these private messages. In the example about the guy looking to name his website, he responded to me and he wanted to know more about our services, and we went back and forth for a while, and it didn't fully pan out. In his case, he wasn't really ready to get going, but it's a good example of how, you know, answering a question that's not totally up our alley led to a fruitful discussion. And in general, it's LinkedIn Answers is just a very good conversation starter because someone did ask a question, so you're answering it, but it's just a nice way to meet a contact whose industry you can sort of know based on their question and their LinkedIn profile, and go from there. When you're answering questions, you can include links to pages on specific pages on your website. I would say that's probably better than your homepage. That might help to answer the question. You can link to helpful articles either on your website or elsewhere, and you can even link to upcoming webinars or seminars you know about that would be relevant to this asker. And there's a difficult balance here when you're linking to content like that. We recently got yelled at on LinkedIn by an asker because it was silly, because he asked specifically, how do I market social media for business to business? And we sent him a link to this webinar, and he was like, you're just promoting your webinar, do. But, you know, and that's going to happen sometimes, but we took the high horse and just replied explaining that this is a common practice on LinkedIn Answers, and, you know, we really thought this would be a good resource for you, and here are some other tips if you don't have time to attend the webinar. But in general, if you can do a mix of, you know, promoting yourself when appropriate, but maybe also sending links to helpful articles that are by some third party that's not your competition, it can be a good way to make sure that people aren't perceiving what you're doing as overly promotional. And LinkedIn Answers also has over 90 million users, so it's a really great and active forum that, like I said, it's like Yahoo Answers, but without the pregnancy. Some other cool stuff to do for your business on LinkedIn includes enabling third-party applications on your profile. LinkedIn applications, they're a little different than how Facebook applications work. There are fewer of them, but they tend to work really well and be accessible across all industries, and you don't have to make them, they're already there. So some of my favorites include SlideShare. This can allow you to share directly on your profile, your PowerPoint presentations, your product demos, anything like that. Even if people don't have time to look at them, just seeing them there kind of makes you look professional, and of course if they do look, they can learn a lot more about your business and your offerings. Box.net is another cool application that allows you to upload files and link to them. So this is great for PDFs of resumes, marketing and press kits for your company, white papers that your company made, and any other file like that you'd love to add to your LinkedIn profile. Last, TripIt is a cool networking app where you can tell it where you're traveling for business, and any of your other connections who are using it, you'll know where they're traveling. So you can say, wow, we're both going to be in Seattle in a week. We should meet up and talk about how you should sign this major contract with my company. Last, I wanted to talk about Business Plus accounts on LinkedIn. There are a couple different premium statuses on LinkedIn. They're all pretty affordable, and I would recommend them, starting with the mid-range one, which I believe is about $25 a month. Lots of times you can get a month free trial as well. So there's some cool features like in-mail contacts. You can send messages to people even if they're not your connections yet. Business Plus accounts can also see full profiles in search, whereas normally when you're searching you just see a little bit about each person. You can also incorporate premium search features when you're looking for people, so you can more directly find the leads you're looking for, you know, those exact decision makers, what industries they're in, what departments they work in within their companies, stuff like that. You can also check out who's viewed your profile, which can be a good way to capitalize on someone that obviously had some interest in you if they stopped by, but maybe they didn't have time to send a message, got distracted, their internet went down, who knows. So in general, Business Plus accounts are a good way to reach those decision makers that you're looking for, to take advantage of potential leads who visited your profile but didn't send you a message. And I think, you know, I would encourage you to try it out for at least a month and see if you're getting any results from it. It's pretty affordable and a good way to reach more people than with LinkedIn's regular features. Next, I want to talk about Twitter, if we can do that. While we're waiting for the poll, kind of my summary about Twitter is that it allots less space than some of the other social networks to play around with, but it's still a critical part of any business-business campaign.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just launching this poll right now. The question is, my company uses Twitter ... to tweet updates about our services, to brand our business, or to provide further outreach via employee accounts. And please take a second and vote. I think this might be our last poll that we use for the webinar. So I see already more than a quarter of you guys have voted, which is awesome. Let's just take another second. I'll leave this up till about I don't know, I guess another minute at the max, and then we'll close this out and share it with you guys. And in the meantime, I just want to invite you guys also, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask. We're going to leave 5 minutes at the end of this webinar just to, go through everybody's questions and answer them. So any other questions at all, feel free to type them into the question box. We are monitoring it right now and would love to get that to you and answer all your questions.
Yeah, definitely. And, I sort of planned this presentation with kind of all business-to-business companies in mind, but if you have a specific industry with its own challenges or maybe regulations, I'd be happy to talk about that as well and how we can adapt any of these general strategies to work with you.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to close out this poll now. And let me share the results with everybody. So it looks like 83% of you said that your company uses Twitter primarily to tweet updates about your services, and about 33% use Twitter to brand your business. So Sarah, what do you think about these results?
Mm-hmm. I think that's good. It looks like no one said to provide outreach via employees, which I'll talk about. That can be another good way to use Twitter, kind of like how I mentioned with Facebook, where sometimes you can reach people on your profile that you can't reach on your page. Twitter can just be a great way to both expand your efforts and also sort of show the world that not only is, say, Ajax Union active on Twitter, but all of Ajax's employees are as well. So it kind of creates a more impressive front to show off to the world. So yeah, to get into this, but what I mean by Twitter allots less space to play with. There aren't applications. The ad interface is limited, and I don't usually recommend it. But just doing the sort of free activities on Twitter and making sure you have a Twitter that looks nice if someone's looking for it is very important. So just some anatomy about Twitter. There are a couple different cool tools you can use. In a tweet, you can post what's called a mention, where you post at and then somebody's username. So this is a good way to reach out to specific customers tweeting about things or people that you're networking with. Twitter is another really useful network to reach out to end users, and I think I'll get into that a little bit more on the next page, but this is how you would reach out to them using the @ tag. Hashtags, which have a pound symbol in front of them, are another important part of Twitter. It's a good way to, it's almost like putting your tweet inside a file box. So, if I'm tweeting about SEO on Ajax Union, I might just follow up with an SEO hashtag, because since that's a big industry, there actually are a lot of people on Facebook every day that are just checking out the tweets on the SEO that are under SEO. Because when you click on a hashtag, you go to all those tweets people have made on the topic. Sometimes hashtags are more specific and temporary, like there's often a hashtag on National Margarita Day that just says National Margarita Day. Could be very specific, just something that's trendy in this moment. URLs, you can post links on Twitter as well. Pretty much all of these examples we have below include links, and it's just a great way to you're using a tweet to get someone's attention, to reach out to them via Twitter, but you want them to go somewhere. So the link could be to a page on your website where they can fill out a form, or your main homepage, or a cool article you found in Business Week, or anything like that, just to help people understand that, oh, hey, that company's Twitter is always useful when I go there. Additionally, retweeting on Twitter is a useful tool. This is where somebody else posts a tweet and you like it, so you retweet it, so it also shows up on your profile. And this is a good way to reach out to the original tweeter because they'll see that you retweeted them and maybe go check you out. And also just it's an easy way to provide additional content to your followers without putting in the time of coming up with 100% original content. It's almost like posting a helpful article, except instead of the article you're referring to someone else's tweet, which very well may contain a link to an article. So these are two examples, Intel and Gartner, of two business-to-business companies that a lot of people consider are using Twitter very well. You can see that Intel has an optimized Twitter profile. These are available to some businesses currently, usually based on advertising budget that allows them to have an extra banner down here. Intel, they have a lot of active content, post several times a day. One cool thing is you can see the recent images section that they have. When you're tweeting, you can add an image to your tweet, and it's good to do this sometimes because then you have this recent images section show up, and it just makes it look like you are a vibrant company with a lot of cool visual activity, which is always conducive to social media. Gartner is another good one. They also are very active with their tweets and have recent images. This is a little cut off on this shot, but they also have a custom Twitter background that shows up on the left. So if this weren't cut off, you would see that it has a little company summary and then some URLs of additional profiles you can visit. So they're just taking advantage of all the Twitter real estate, which is limited but can be used very well to a company's advantage. Twitter can also be used as a team effort, so that's how you can put your other employees to use on Twitter. So, like I said, employees can tweet on behalf of the company, like I tweet on behalf of the company from my @SarahMogan account. There are a couple different ways you can refer people back to your company when you're tweeting about them. You could use a hashtag that everyone agrees to use, like hashtag Ajax Union. You can include the @Ajax Union tweet, which means that Ajax Union will see that I tweeted about them. Maybe I'll get a raise out of it, and it'll also show up on Ajax Union's profile and indicate to other users where they can go to find that company on Twitter. Or I could include a direct link to ajaxunion.com or any other page on it, which would be helping out my company that way. Some companies even have special Twitter handles for their employees, like Ajax Sarah. One of my favorite examples of this is ASOS. They're a clothes company in Europe, and they have a lot of Twitter handles for all of their employees, whether they work in marketing or sales or anything like that. So it'll be something like ASOS_James or _Sarah, and it will just show people that, wow, ASOS has a really coordinated social media network, and they're encouraging people to reach out to specific employees about those specific issues. And it also just helps to, brand the company in general. You can see, oh, hey, this is what their VP of marketing looks like. He's cool and has stubble, and he posts about cool things and likes this new video. And, it just helps to personalize the company. What else have I got? Twitter chats are a cool idea that Ajax Union is actually about to get started with. What you can do with a Twitter chat is tell people either on your Facebook page, via email, and your email signature that there's a scheduled time where people can check out Twitter, follow a specific hashtag, and see members of your company talking about a specific thing. So we're going to start doing these every Friday. The hashtag will be AUTGIF for Ajax Union. Thank God it's Friday. And we'll be using that to talk about marketing topics, anything new. Maybe one day we'll just have a chat all about email marketing, and people will know that they can just check that and see all the different members of Ajax Union being extremely active. So that's something we're looking at starting soon. Last, I just wanted to cover Google Plus real quick. Google Plus, in general, people think of it as a social media underdog. Not that many people are on Google Plus, or most of them created a Google Plus profile and then ran back to Facebook, as they probably should have. But one thing we have to consider is it's owned by Google, which is really important for SEO. And additionally, Google Plus is a little more active in the business-to-business area than in business-to-consumer. So what should you do on Google+? First, you should set up a company page for branding. Just like you should have a Twitter page, you should have a Facebook page. It's important to have a Google+ page just for anyone you work with that's on Google+. If they look for you, they should be able to find you, and it should look great. One way, you can also reach out to decision makers in your industry that are on Google+, or important networking connections by what's called +1ing their posts and also commenting on their updates. So the +1 is basically Google's version of the like button, and if there's somebody that you want to contact to, most experts recommend sort of courting them over the weeks by commenting on their updates, +1ing the stuff they do. Google Plus also offers features called Hangouts and Circles, which are great for B2B. With Hangouts, it's basically a video chat that you can have, and it can have hosts and people that show up. I know Obama's done them a couple times, and it can be a great way to meet with potential clients, to host even a public hangout where people can watch you answer questions, similar to a webinar experience. Google Plus also offers circles, so you can have a whole circle for marketing people you know, for potential leads, for your employees, and share different content to those different people very easily without having to check them off individually. You can also, probably the easiest thing to do on Google+, which can still be effective, is to add buttons to your website, to your blog, to any articles you have online, stuff like that, any products you have listed. So this way, just as people are visiting your site, if they're Google Plus users, they can click the button to get endorsements, to endorse your product and tell Google especially that, oh hey, real people like this product, without you having to do any further work or promotion. Who doesn't love that? So my final thoughts, some additional points that I wanted to throw in or reiterate. It's important to link your blog anywhere you can on social media. One of our favorite services to use is called networkedblogs.com, and it allows you to easily link your blog to Facebook and Twitter. LinkedIn has its own internal thing you can do. Sorry. And I also just can't restate enough that using social media to provide credibility and legitimacy to your business is extremely important. It's just another way that you can show that I didn't set up this business overnight. I'm legitimate. I have employees that update these things, and here are the projects I'm working on. It's a great way to help your company stand out. Just imagine if someone's choosing between from you and a competitor and they don't have anything on Facebook, or their last post was in 2009. It's going to make you look a lot better and have the edge. Also, after you've set up these social media profiles, it's important to promote them any way you can, and that includes off of the social networks. Obviously, you can promote your Facebook page through Facebook ads, but you can do it in other ways that are off of social media. So one thing to do is make sure you have buttons on your website. When people are looking for someone's social profiles, often the first thing they'll do is check out their website and see if there's anything they can click on. You can also have links to your prominent profiles in your signature so that anyone interacting with you on email is going to see those and potentially click on them. Company email blasts are another good way to promote your social profiles. You can even promote any sort of special offer you're having on your social profiles. And last, make sure that your business cards are updated with your social profiles and do not include any embarrassing ones. I was recently meeting with a major company. I'm not going to name any names, but it was Polaroid, and they had their MySpace link on their business card, and I was like, oh, you guys. Other networks I also recommend checking out for business to business, depending on your industry, include Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, and Flickr. These are all very visual networks, a great way to showcase anything you're working on, whether it's a new logo you designed for a client or the renovation you have halfway underway or anything cool like that. And all right, so we're pretty much wrapping up here. Elle, you could get started with the questions. I'll just go over this really quick first. Like Elle mentioned, we're going to be having a seminar coming up in the New Yorker Hotel on October 23rd. And
And I do have a special code for you guys, for those of you guys who stayed with us throughout the entire presentation. I'm sending you the code right now. It's in your chat box. So the complimentary code for free tickets, we're just giving them to you to listen to two experts in the field talk about Facebook and LinkedIn. It's a really great deal. So the code is webinar 1023. Again, that's webinar 1023. It is included in your chat box. Because we love you guys and we appreciate your continued support. Feel free to bring a friend. It's going to be absolutely free, but you just have to register soon. As long as you register by tomorrow, these tickets will continue to be free. Otherwise, the code will expire. So get them while they're hot. It's going to be next Tuesday from 6 to 9. It's going to be a Facebook and LinkedIn social media seminar. This one is going to be in person, so you can actually ask questions and raise your hand and talk to experts. Sarah is probably going to be there as well, so you can meet her and compliment her on this webinar as well. And we'd really love to see you guys. Also, if you do have any questions about the webinar, about the seminar, anything, I'm going to send our email out. It's just info@ajaxunion.com. We monitor that every day. We check it out. So any questions about our LinkedIn and Facebook social media seminar, about this webinar, about what we do here at Ajax Union, send us an email. We'll respond to you, I promise. And yeah, I guess otherwise, thank you guys so much for joining. Hope to see you at our future webinars. Let me just send you a link to that as well. ajaxunion.com/webinar. That's where we list our upcoming ones. Next week, David Gescheidel is going to be giving a webinar about the Google Search Display Network, and we're really excited to see that, and hope to see you guys there as well. And let me just refer that one question that we saw. A few people actually asked us during the webinar, what do you do if you have a small business and you don't actually have your own dedicated social media person or staff member to kind of undertake all these things that we mentioned for you? And a few people have asked us that. And Sarah, I'm just going to toss this one over to you. I guess, what would be your advice for somebody that may not have their own time involvement to do all these social media updates themselves and doesn't really have the allocated funds to hire someone to do it for them?
Mm-hmm. It's a good question. I think there are a couple things to keep in mind. One is that there's a difference between devoting a lot of your budget to social media for a 6-month campaign or a year campaign than to trying it out for a month or two. And sometimes it can be worth it to provide the initial investment, whether that's getting help from a company like Ajax Union or maybe taking on a marketing intern that already knows their stuff a little bit, just to try it out. And then that can be a good way to see some preliminary results and perhaps justify the investment later on, whether you have a board of directors to answer to or your CFO or whoever it is. I would also say that social media, it's definitely the more the merrier, but even if you don't have time to do a full social media campaign and just that kind of doing stuff on Facebook is all you can do for your business at present, that's still a great place to start. So if there's any way you can get an intern, get somebody's kid that is bored to contribute to your effort, that could just be a good way to test the waters, get a little started. At least they can help you make your Facebook profile if you don't have one set up yet. So I think really anything that's not doing nothing is going to be a great step for your business. Even if you set up a Facebook profile and never touch it again because you don't have time, that's still going to be a lot better than someone trying to find you on Facebook and not being able to do so.
That's right. And that was kind of what the majority of the questions I saw kind of revolved around that one question. So if anybody else has anything else to ask us, feel free to shoot us an email. We'd love to, speak to you, and we'll definitely respond to you in a timely manner. Otherwise, come to our seminar, come to our future, webinars and networking events, and all of that is listed on our website, which you can see is www.ajaxunion.com. You need any help with online marketing, internet advertising, anything along those lines, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. Our phone number is 1-800-594-0444, and we really look forward to your calls, to your emails, and your general page visits. Also, Sarah, do you want to just mention RanksN really quickly?
Yeah, sure. So just for our future webinars, to see a calendar of the upcoming ones, always check out ajaxunion.com/webinar. We send out these links to webinars using gotowebinar.com, but every time we do the webinar, the link expires. So it's very important to bookmark this link so that you always have the most up-to-date information. We update it all the time, so it's very good. RanksN.com is a new awesome tool that Ajax Union has created. It's free but has some premium options as well, and it's a great way to learn all about your SEO information for your website. So you can see what keywords you're ranking for, what the competition is like on those keywords, how this is changing over time. Really, for anyone interested in SEO and getting a little more involved in the mechanics of it. So we definitely recommend checking out RanksN. We built it ourselves. We're very proud of it, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. And I think I have one more slide. Oh, no, I don't have one more slide.
And that means it's time for lunch. So, Sarah, thank you so much. I saw a bunch of people type into my personal chat box saying, thank you, Sarah. We really appreciate your help. And if you guys need anything, contact us. We'll be sending you a thank you soon as well. And otherwise, we hope to see you at our future events. Thanks, you guys. See you soon.
Thanks very much.